everybody, welcome to Skeleton Keys.
I'm Torri Yates-Orr.
And I'm John Bucher.
Together, we're going to try to unlock the mysteries of mythology and history in pop culture. I am a history communicator and Emmy-nominated producer and host, and just honestly, the world's biggest history nerd.
I went for a first round of grad school and focused on film and story, and I went on and got the PhD in mythology.
And I was very interested in the history of my people as a Black woman. So I decided to go to school to learn about that history. But why myth?
I honestly fell in love with myth when I was a little boy and I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. If Indiana Jones and Jack Black had a love child, it would be me. That would be me. So
the greatest combination of two people. I don't know why, but a lot of people, when they think of history, think of something very dry, and it can be kind of presented in a dull way. But history is nothing but stories that have really happened.
I've built my life around story, and I love stories so much that I became interested in the stories behind the stories.
There's always a story. There's always a narrative. There's tends to be a protagonist and an antagonist.
Why is it these same stories kept appearing in culture after culture throughout history among groups of people that never met each other?
And it's beautiful to kind of watch, and it can be sad at sometimes when history does repeat itself. When you see the same things happening, we're kind of seeing that in the world today, where the same kind of characters are rising to the top. And if we don't take that into account, if we don't recognize that, we're not doing our due diligence. I always say that history kind of helps, like myth, helps to provide the why. It helps to provide the context of the world that we're living in. So if we're not looking at it in that way, we're doing ourselves a disservice.
I also really loved pop culture, TV, film, music, wrestling. I was as interested in watching the Kardashians play out their modern Greek tragedies as I was in going back and studying the life of Hecate through myth. Snoop fits an archetype in our modern culture, and I didn't really have language for that until studying mythology, when I began to learn about this god of Dionysus. Dionysus is god of wine and vegetation. Mm-hmm. Snoop is a certain god of vegetation, we could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we could say.
Yep.
We're going to talk about professional wrestling, specifically the WWE. Yeah, I'm a wrestling fan, guys, and I'm not ashamed. I'm proud.
You betcha, brother. I'm gonna meet you in that squared circle.
I can't even do it.
Hands down, pro wrestling is the most closely aligned narrative system we have to Greek mythology today.
Roland Barthes was one of the first people who did analysis on professional wrestling. He was doing it from a very particular perspective, but he was also talking about, in his book, Mythologies, how you have these types of stories and archetypes and tropes just repeat.
If superheroes are these mythical archetypes in culture, and if they're projections of modern myth, how does Spider-Man fit into that?
West African cultures used Anansi moving over when they were during the slave trade. How Anansi was looked at as a figure of hope.
Well, we may not have penguins on this podcast, but we do have skeletons in our closet.
We do.
But Mary Poppins is in every culture. She might just be called Auntie Mary or something like that, but she's in every culture.
I thought Supergirl, especially because I think obviously Superman, there's a lot of parallels with Jesus, but then when you make that character, that prototype feminine.
It's sort of the modern projection of Aphrodite. And immediately we both came up with the same answer.
Miss Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Modern projection of Aphrodite. Kim Kardashian looks more like what the mythological embodiment of Inanna would look like.
Exactly. I mean, because Inanna was coming from Sumer, which is southern Iraq.
Right.
And Kim Kardashian's Armenian. She definitely looked more like her than Aphrodite.
Yes.
So it's almost like a reclaiming of the original.
I kind of love that.
Yes. I'm a Wonder Woman fangirl, but I'm not Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I wasn't crafted by the gods that I know of. Maybe I was. My mom was lying. I'm excited to meet everyone because I know we're out there.
We are. We are Legion.
We are Legion. Join the fight.